All right, I get the pleasure of introducing our next speaker. This is Ann Mulder, who has many years of experience as a CTE administrator, and she's going to go over the summer list and things to do. And so welcome, Ann.
Thank you.
Let me just step out.
Sure. Well, welcome back, y'all. You did it. You got through the year. And David Berrier and Greg Shipp are going to come on up and give us a hand on this, too. The three of us represent some years, we won't talk about how many total, of working with CTE administration in a variety of different sizes of districts. Greg currently works at Conroe ISD that has how many high schools?
6 high schools. We're building our 7th. 7 junior highs. We're building our 8th.
Exactly. And then David Berrier's served most of his career at Deer Park, and it is a large single high school, right? And my administrative background was in Friendswood, which was a smaller high school campus, 4A at the time that that designation still existed, and before it all shifted up in the last couple of years. But anyway, we have a few ideas about things that we would have liked to have, just a reminder list of things to stay fresh with as you push through the summer, your first go-round. So we thought we would highlight those, and these gentlemen and I will just throw in with a couple stories here and there of some practical application, because our goal is not just that you know what the rule is, but that you can pull it all together and get it done. So these are some ideas that we had with it. One of the biggies, and you've already been working through that, is wrapping up your Perkins things, and there will be some specific breakout sessions with detailed discussions about both the Perkins Effectiveness Report, and also wrapping up your previous year's grant. Y'all have any just ideas about things to be alert to? Just watch your deadlines very carefully, both for closing out and for starting up. There, and also pad whatever deadline it is with several days, so that you're not trying to download your application at the same time that the other 1,100 districts are trying to do.
Yeah, and I'm going to reiterate some things that you guys probably already heard. One of the best things that you can do if you are stepping into the role of administrator for the first time, you're in the Leadership Academy, or you're new in that position, is attend the summer conference. The summer conference is going to be in Fort Worth, and then attend what is basically our new administrators presentation, because in that presentation, one of the things you're going to get out of that is your administrator's calendar. Jeff Eichmann's here, Michael Chapman's here. Exactly. Any other Region Center people?
Lots of Region folks. Okay. Yeah, raise your hand if you're an ESC person.
And so what you're probably going to find on those Region Center sites are administrators' calendars that are just reminders. We're so fortunate we've got the agency here. You're going to hear about the Perkins application as well as the PER. Deadlines that come up, you have to request authorization to get into the Perkins application. So definitely there are some things happening right now that you need to moving on. If you haven't requested from your superintendent to get authorization to go in and start filling out Perkins, again, we're going to hear about that from our friends at the agency. That's pretty important. We need to get that rocking. If you really want to start spending that money in July, you need to be working on that application. Hopefully you've already submitted it so that you can get it approved. Take it to your board, because you will have to have board approval before you start spending that money in July. So those are some of the things that are going on right now.
Right. And each district does have a slightly different approach to managing some of the local control kinds of questions, but there are some things that are just flat out across the board. There's a participant in the room today that is working on getting her name on the approved list for Perkins so she can function in her new capacity, and that's a critical crossroads, because you really can't function until they iron that out. So
the other thing you want to watch, is looking at your PEMS reports. You've been following those throughout the year. You've been checking your code 2s, making certain that your test codes match up. You probably did that during STAR testing before you submitted those. You've made sure those codes match. That's really important. But now you have one more opportunity to look at your PEMS information before final submission. You should be looking again at your codes, but you also should be looking at the growth in your programs. If you're seeing some exponential growth, that's great. If your enrollment's up, you want to verify that. You probably want to do some spot checking for your plans just to make sure that things are being coded. But especially if your numbers are way up or you're seeing numbers way down, make certain that you're capturing that data accurately before that final submission during the summer.
Right. And of course, as Greg just mentioned, we've got lots of great ESC representation here. If you have a specific problem that's going to take more than just a general conversation in this room to solve it, don't hesitate to call your folks, because they're great resources for working through that. We are officially on board with the visual, and I didn't want you to miss the first thing. My first year I lived on caffeine. It's a good thing. It'll catch you all the way through.
Yeah,
right.
Dr. Pepper works.
So yeah, Dr. Pepper is a great option too. So program evals. Now it's June, so the time to get that done is really earlier. But Greg is going to present later.
I am.
In the conference.
We're going to talk about data, and I know that Jeff Eichmann's also going to talk about evaluations. So
Yes.
we definitely will share between the two of us. Share
Right.
some information there.
And it'll give you some good ideas. Be thinking about, make yourself a little to-do list about the things you want to bring in play for next year and coming up with a system. I will just say that I always worked with my teachers to get their input before they left. I had a checklist of things that I needed from folks before they left for the summer, because people scatter to the winds quickly at the end of the school year. And their feedback and their piece of this was always one thing that I made sure I had before I left.
We tie our evaluations to our advisory council or advisory committee, and we pair our teachers with those people that are in their specific fields, and our teachers are responsible for getting that evaluation, getting it back to us before they clear out for the school year. And then we look at them over the summer to see whatever input those people had, our advisory council had.
If there are facility needs and lots of different curriculum pieces, training pieces, lots of things. We've talked about the Perkins grant application and understand that we'll have great detail coming this next day or two about that as well.
And let me mention something on
Yes.
that part. One thing Whitney Weaver is my partner in crime back there, and I figured out about 2 hours ago, the one thing I didn't get, so this is something I'll be on my to-do list next year, was all of our the certifications that all the teachers got from their students, that their students earned. So now, summertime, I'm going to let Whitney and myself will be digging around, trying to grab teachers, say, okay, what certifications did our students earn?
You'll want that for
I
your
should have done
purpose,
that before school was out.
So you
Because
can-
now they're going to be hard to catch.
Right.
And following up on that, it is realistic that sometimes you have to wait over the summer. For example, cosmetology, our
Right.
licensing, a lot of our kids won't test. I will tell you, I have a great relationship with Region 6, and Jeff Eichmann's always sending me the emails because I'm always at the last minute getting my PER in. He's going, hey, Shipp, you got a week, you got to get it in. So use your Region Center as a resource. They can help remind you of those deadlines. But we understand that sometimes it takes a while to get licenses and certification information in.
And really the first year is about making the list so that next year will be easier for you. So if you determined, like David, that, oh shoot, I meant to get that from my folks, I need that, you've got that for your May calendar next year. We always had a few kids take an EMT certification in June, but I had the teacher's phone number and the kids' phone numbers for that small group that were going to come in after school was out. Cosmetology would fit in that kind of category. But the other certs were all available earlier. So just be alert to that.
And one thing we did on that, you may want to make a cutoff date, whether it be July 1st or whatever, and, and roll it to the next year.
One of the things we'll mention briefly is that how master schedule and classes are built can vary from district to district a lot. In Greg's district, it wouldn't be feasible for him to do every master schedule in all of his campuses. However, in serving in a smaller district with one high school campus, I did a lot of that and made sure it worked. So if that's an issue of yours, be aware of it and be aware of how your certs fit and how your teacher certifications fit as well. Be really clear on what teachers can do what classes and make sure that that all fits together. If you have summer hires, either be alert to it, like Greg doesn't sit in on every single one of them, but some of them you do yourself. So yeah, it varies. So just be up and aware of how that fits and make sure that they have the right credentials.
And never think you're done.
Right.
As soon as you say, I'm done, I got them all hired, you're going to get a little email that says, I'm gone.
Boom. Yeah. Be sure you're alert to the non-discrimination statement that has to go out in publication. And the template, of course, is online on TEA. And I'll be alert to the professional development needs. Greg alluded to that earlier. Not only conference for you, the CTEC conference, but your teachers having the opportunity to do professional development work in the summer, whether that be their conferences or specific training for their teaching areas.
All the ESC workshops.
And all the ESC workshops, absolutely. Those are something to be alert to. And then be sure that your folks are ready to pick up any new curriculum and they have appropriate training and they're good to go. They're really ready to tear into it. So that may include facilities as well as curriculum work and, of course, the instructor comfort zone in terms of being ready to really rock and roll with that with kids. Travel. Every district does it different. Some folks, we always cleared our travel reports from the budget from the previous year, so we did that by August 1st because in our district, our budget ended August 31st. We wanted to have several weeks to get that done. And be thinking forward to the following fall, your 16-17 school year. And really kind of decide how you're going to handle budget issues as you push forward and make sure you've got your in-service ideas ready. David, you do some work with that every year.
We do. We have just a CTE faculty meeting that pretty well takes half the day or most of the day, but just try to hit the important things because teachers aren't ready to sit in meetings.
And if you've brought new people on board, be sure there's an experienced mentor that can work with them and that you have a game plan for that. That will allow you to retain that new talent much more effectively if you've got someone.
Try to serve lunch during your meeting too. That helps.
And don't forget to have a moment for yourself somewhere in there.